Hello everyone, and welcome to DN Digital's Starships and Scoundrels campaign. My name is Dave, and I'll be your game master. We're using the Star Wars 5e system to tell the story of a crew of a smuggling freighter known as the Mayday, set about a year after the fall of the Jedi Order. Each session is going to be going live on Wednesdays around 3 p.m. Pacific time, so make sure to subscribe, click that bell, do all those YouTube things, and tune back in next week for more action. With all that out of the way, let's get into it.
Last time on Starships and Scoundrels, R5 and H4 scouted ahead and found another journal entry. R5 then loudly opened the door to the room containing the dark force wielder known as Vexa, and Alo charged into the room after him. Battle erupted as he failed to calm his rival. Alo ultimately dragged a severely wounded Vexa out of the room and off to presumed safety, leaving Harry to glare with rage-filled eyes after the foes that had escaped his blade. We return now to the crew of the Mayday as you all stand in this dimly lit weapons research chamber. Only one of your foes is currently laying dead on the ground, as two of them have just made it through what appears to be the outer door to a ship in the wall over off to the side. Alo has just recently left after having a little conversation with Vexa going through the northern doorway, the one that is not the one you guys came in through, and disappeared with her warnings of an impending flood fading off into the distance. For the moment, the only sound left in the room outside of you all are the various computers and machines that were likely reactivated by the Imperials as they searched for their mysterious Isen Corona coordinates. What would y'all like to do?
Go, 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 go.
But go where? Are we?
I hear that, and he just goes after the two that ran away.
Dread is running back the way they came.
Yes, we still have to go get Huntale. Is that not the case?
Dread, is that who we're going for?
Oh, we're getting our client. Getting there.
Can you tell her to meet us at the ship?
She wasn't exactly walking last we saw her, but
Yeah.
I mean, we can try.
I mean, she'd be on the way, right?
And he'll activate the chip behind the communication chip behind his ear. Huntale, are you, can you meet us at the ship? We got what we need, but...
Right. You, instead of Huntale's voice in return, you actually hear Lynn's voice coming back over the comms. She is currently in stasis at the moment. I figured it was the best way to prevent the disease from progressing. I would have a very hard time getting her to whatever ship that you are at, so I would recommend that if you want to retrieve her, that you come here and get her.
Alright, we're gonna meet him there.
What are we waiting for?
Sounds good. Travel safely. And you hear the comm shut off on the other side.
Go, 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 go.
Do we know another way?
Harry knows the other way. It's through that door that they ran through.
The one that Alo ran through, or the various Imperials, because they went through separate doors. I'll bring you back onto the map that you guys were on just so you can see what I'm talking about in particular.
Yeah, the various Imperials.
The various Imperials. So yeah, to the over on the east side, that's where like the big, looks like the exterior of a ship that's been kind of pressed up into a hole in the wall is, with the door that they went through, and then Alo and Vexa went through this northern door, heading off that way.
Yeah, I mean, Harry's gonna try to open this door.
All right, go ahead and what are you doing to try to open it?
Okay, the only way Harry knows, he's gonna put his vibro battle axe in there and try to wedge it open.
All right, give me a strength check. At advantage, because you're using a lever.
22.
All right, you, it doesn't quite open, but you do feel it start to budge a little bit. A little bit of light from inside starts to kind of pour out, and you get a slight glimpse in there. And you just hear coming from the inside, it's like, oh shit! He's at the door! Go, go, go! Disembark, disattach! And you do start to hear the sound of clamps loosening on the various sides kind of around this hole. But the door is still wedged open a little bit. You can keep trying to crank it open if you want.
I'm gonna try.
All right, go ahead and give me another strength check.
Another 22. Same
Yeah, you've got it.
rolls.
Exact rolls, just in reverse order. Very nice. But yeah, so at this point, you've kind of wedged it open, so that way it's probably about 1.5 feet wide of a gap where you can see in properly into there. You can see 4 troopers all kind of gathered around this door. Only one of them is the one who flipped you off, and he is actually kind of pressed up against the back wall, trying to like bandage up his wounds and everything. And like he's got like a little cauterizing like gun, just trying to like stop the bleeding from where you sliced him up so bad. But the other 3 at least have started to pick up blasters and point them your direction.
What's the most distinctive thing that he can see on him so he can remember him?
He's got like a big red shoulder pauldron over one side, kind of like denoting rank and stuff like that. But he actually has removed his helmet at this point. You can see he's got just a shaved head. He's kind of got like a dark tannish skin tone, has multiple scars kind of all over his face and in various other parts kind of around him. He's got a little bit of an implant over back behind one of his ears. You'd be able to pick him out of a lineup pretty easily.
Okay. He's just gonna... Is this battle axe keeping the door open, or is it just wedged?
It's 100% just your strength with the axe wedging it open right now. It's fighting back against you, trying to close. But you actually hear that the clamps have stopped unlatching at this point, but you don't see who's controlling them.
Okay. He's just gonna look at that one and say, "It's not gonna happen now, but you will die." And then he just closes the door behind him and starts going north.
As you let go, where is everybody else right now? Are you all watching Harry do this? Are you trying to get out of the room? What's going on?
Yeah, booking it.
Getting going as fast as possible.
Sounds like north in general is where you guys are going, unless you're splitting up. Anybody splitting? Just last chance? Okay, cool. So don't worry, battle map doesn't really matter too much at this point. I was just here to make it clear what was where. As Harry turns and starts following off after the rest of you, you do hear the clamps start to unlatch again once the door has been closed. And it starts to pull off from the wall, and water starts to flood in through this now giant hole in the side. I'm going to need everybody in the room to give me a strength saving throw, please, as the water just begins to flood in and buff it towards you all.
God, I'm terrible at these.
No, you're the worst.
Am I still considered raging?
Quick question: how many force points do we have?
Well, you definitely would have taken an action. You definitely would have taken an action and not done an attack, so the rage would have dropped. Cool. Yeah.
So it's a normal roll.
You guys have 6 fate points available. All right, everybody content with their rolls? All settled in?
Okay, so it's a 4 and a 2. All right, fate points, I see.
And because there's a second one with the fate point chosen after, it's a 2. It's okay. They both fail equally poorly. So we know that we got a 2 from R5. Let's just go from an order of rolling. H4. Your total?
13.
Dread?
13.
Granny?
14.
And Harry?
20.
All right, so Harry's the only one who actually does succeed on it. Harry, you are actually kind of taking the brunt of it, but your mass is able to kind of get your feet into the floor and hold your ground just enough to keep moving away. Everybody else, you get just kind of slammed by this wall of water that starts rushing in, and you get pushed off to one side. Fortunately, because of where you're at, it's kind of pushing you towards where you want to go. And that would be, let's see, that'll be a whopping 5 points of kinetic damage for everybody except for Harry, as you all just get buffeted against all of the various like consoles and slammed into the wall as the room starts to flood.
Use your feet, people!
I don't have those!
R5, are you okay?
R5, how many hit points does that put you at, buddy? R5?
Wait, how many hit points?
Oh, God.
You took 5.
It was 5 hit points.
Oh, yeah, I'm down again.
Yep. There we go.
Yeah.
R5.
Is this an uncanny dodge situation? Could you uncanny dodge? I can't remember the exact
reaction,
word.
although I think we're technically out of initiative.
It might be only attacks, but I can't.
When an attacker that you can see hits you with an attack, You can use your reaction to have the attack's damage.
Unless I want to count the ocean as my attacker, I don't think I can really do much there.
Nope.
You
R5,
know what? You should.
I really should, but
you can hope that you can consider it that way, but I don't. So you get knocked unconscious once again as you get slammed against the wall. Everybody else kind of then is basically, because you're the closest, everyone else kind of just gets slammed into you on the wall. But you all can try to get out. If somebody's going to try to drag R5, now would be the time, I presume.
I'll carry him.
I've got that one remaining tech point. But I use that to undercharge repair droid to give him 1 hit point.
Paul, what I'll say is you can give me an intelligence roll, just your intelligence modifier. That's it. If you break a 13, then yes, you can give him 1 hit point.
Okay. That sounds reasonable.
Oh, maybe.
All right. Yeah. Drod, as you see R5 just get slammed and then you slammed in right after him, you have just enough time to kind of react and extend out a small little electrical jolt that you can give him, and you zap in just that 1 hit point with your 1 last tech point, and R5, you have 1 hit point and are immediately, like, your system basically just does a rapid reboot of just shut down, back on. But it's real rough on your circuits. Doesn't feel good.
Doesn't help that there's water.
So, yeah, if you guys are trying to make it towards the door, I'm going to need you all to give me athletics checks to try to fight against the water. That's pushing you. It's like, because while it's at least pushing you kind of towards the door you want, it's not, you're not right next to it, so you still have to fight the current.
Use your feet, people.
I don't have feet. I'm gonna use a fate point.
Okay.
Of mine.
1 fate point for H4. Makes sense.
That's much better.
So much better.
It's double.
I want to see if there was a way everybody can basically make a train behind me and I just drag everybody.
Sure. Yeah. Basically, give me an athletics check. Give me an athletics check, period, just to pull everybody. That's pretty much all it is. And then everyone else will get advantage on the roll to try to do better.
Oh, baby.
There is not much better I can do.
I guess I will use a fate point for that because...
Yeah, that sounds about right.
This is...
Hey-o!
The duality of man.
Yep.
Excuse me, the duality of Wookiee.
I feel like that's...
So I rolled a natural 20 for a 28.
Strong definition, having, showing, or able to exert...
You know what?
Or muscular power.
Who?
Sorry, it was my watch. She was talking to me.
Your roll was so powerful that even your watch had to acknowledge it. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. With a 28, you are 100% able to not just have everyone kind of, daisy chain behind you. You manage to get behind them and just shove them all towards the door. Everybody else just rolls over each other and piles through on the other side into this hallway. You're able to get through and close the door behind you. Seems like it should at least buy you time, but this is not an exterior blast door. This is much more of an internal door. So you figure you want to at least start moving and get out of this sector before the rest of it starts to flood.
I told you guys, use your legs. It's not that hard.
I was using my legs before you threw me.
I'm just a ball.
I'm too unconscious to interject right now.
I'm just going to assume that you guys all continue to then run away from the flood coming behind you. The tunnel leaving this sector is pretty close. It's basically kind of a mirror of the side you came in from, going into another one of those long tunnels that connect to the overall sectors. And you're able to shut the blast door behind you. You're in the clear, at least at this point, from all that. However, this one is back to being one of those that's completely dark on the inside. So it's just it at least has lost that little bit of emergency lighting. No power coming through here. But otherwise, it falls quiet. And yeah. Do you guys just want to keep traveling along this way? Or is there something else you want to do now that you're in
No, we want to.
seemingly
I want
safe
to go.
This is the way to Huntale.
Go.
As far as you know.
Okay, then continue on.
So you guys you start kind of traveling along this way. Once again, you figure it's going to be about an hour or so worth of walking through these very long tunnels. Is there anything you want to do while you're traveling? Any discussions, anything like that you want to have?
Harry is just mumbling, scars on his face, scars on his face, scars on his face, scars on his face, scars on his face.
So, Dread.
R5. Oh, no. All right, you go first.
So where are we at with the whole infection situation?
We got to both terminals. I wouldn't say the whole picture, but I've got enough information that Lynn should be able to hopefully work something up.
All right, well, that's good. So you had something for me too?
Yeah, you said that you found something on a terminal, and unfortunately, I think that terminal might be underwater now, so you still got that for me, or what?
Yep. And just for a Dave question, is that journal number 4?
Yes, that was the number 4 was the one you found.
I'll share that information with Dread.
You basically just kind of scomp link into a port on Dread, and you're able to transfer the file over to him.
That was an interesting choice. Right.
Look, there is a lot more to explain than the last terminal. This is
Oh yeah, no, I mean you better start explaining why you chose the scomp link between my thighs, but here we are.
I don't know why you put a scomp link between your thighs. That's not on him.
Actually, it wasn't Dread's fault either. So you should have Lynn's journal number 4 in your journal section now, Paul.
Yay!
Hey, Drod. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen to me sometime down the line. Why is it happening faster for her and not for me?
Yeah, I'm going to guess because she was born in a test tube and you were born from 2 people engaging in Congress.
Are you saying I'm adopted?
Well, okay, I mean
2
like
Wookiees.
2 Wookiees,
Your
2
parents are in
intelligent
Congress?
creatures.
I mean, no. No, they are not.
Well, maybe you can get involved in politics once we're done with all this.
Oh, I was in politics.
No, that was crime.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I'm sorry, I must have triggered it. It's clearly my fault.
You did use the word Congress. That's on you. But I'm leaving it to you to bring us back. Then, what is Drod Dread doing now?
He's reading inside of his eyes.
Yeah, as you're all walking down, Drod Dread's eyes just start to kind of flicker with these lights, just kind of in like almost glaze over.
It's got like the sound of like a Xerox machine.
That just tells you our age.
Just dated each and every one of us. Hey, Jack, you know what I'm talking about?
Yep. Only
the sound.
Yep, that's gonna be the open. That's gonna be open of this episode.
You were saying only from what though, Jack?
I was saying only for like until I was like 5 or 6. Then.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad it's made an impression on you.
It's kind of hard to forget once you've heard it enough times.
By the way, that's the exact same sound H4 makes when he cries.
God. That's an ugly cry right there.
Oh, he goes into Umbrin's room every night and cries like that.
I hope you know there's a cure somewhere. And I hope you can find it. I don't really care, but for Huntale's purpose.
We should probably figure that out before that turns Harry into a... You know what, let's just keep going.
May I ask, how are we getting out to the ship? She is in stasis, no? Is that not a back to tube with do we have to take that with us?
I mean, I guess I can try to push it around. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll figure it out once we see her.
Very well.
Scars on his face. Scars on his face. Scars on his face. Scars on his face.
We should really get a cure for that, whatever that is. Before Harry
murder?
starts seeing scars on everybody.
There's no cure for murder. Oh, 5.
There's only more murdering. That
You
helps.
could argue murder is a cure for more murder.
Harry, give me a con save, actually.
Constitution save.
Don't take a fate point. I want you
Scars
to
on
own
his
it.
face. Scars on his face.
8.
Scars on your face.
Zombie Wookie!
Suddenly, you've been kind of pushing it off with this combination of adrenaline and just anger. But finally, at the spot where you were attacked earlier by one of the corrupted clones, the one that really sunk in, you suddenly get this just giant, like, burning sensation kind of creeping out from it, and you begin to feel it start to move its way more towards your torso, like towards kind of where your heart would be. It's not enough to debilitate you yet, but you're definitely starting to feel some pretty severe pain as this disease starts to spread into your body.
Harry is not going to show any signs, so
Give me a deception check.
except these hoes that I consider my friends. 23.
Yeah,
Wait,
no,
did
you
you
do a great job of containing it. It's like somebody would have to be even like it's basically invisible underneath your fur, but the only visible sign would be just somebody could see your jaw start to clench and just like the muscles kind of bulge there. But the fur covers it up so nobody can tell.
Yep. All right.
You just kind
Perfect.
of put it away, and that wave of burning just kind of starts to fade a little bit and subside. Granny, actually coming out of the darkness, you do see what you've seen before with these kind of 3 reddish outlines of large fish-like shapes. And your telepathic fish friends have seemingly returned to you. And you hear them speaking into your mind. It's like,
Old one, we come with message from the one called Alo. He said that they have gone forward to your submersible vessel, and that he will be waiting there for you.
Alo's school friends are back, everyone. They say Alo's waiting for us on the sub.
Right. Wonderful.
Should we call the Mayday down? Is it not in orbit? Do we need to... Is time of essences, I think.
Mayday, Mayday.
hello, friends! I'm up in orbit still. How's it going down there? As you hear
Yeah, we're gonna
X2's voice
need
coming
you
in
to-
very crackly and a lot of static interfering with it.
We're gonna need you to come down into a more atmospheric position, preferably as close to the surface as possible.
Right. Hey, yo! Shh! On. Shh! Entering atmosphere.
Make sure to warn him about the Imperial ship. There's one flying about.
Beware the Imperial ship, the one that's flying about. There's an Imperial ship flying about?
I presume.
Oh, right, that's how they got that. Oh, yeah.
Would that not make sense
You know, that
for them
will
to
make
have an
sense now.
exit strategy as well?
Yeah, try to stay under the radar.
Oh, I don't see the problem. Flies no longer on the ship. See you soon.
He's not going to say this over comms, but wait, what's no longer on the ship? Let's keep going. Let's one problem at a time.
Oh no.
Which problem first, then? The one where we're not on the ship, or any of the other ones down here?
Well, the one where our client and, probably someone in this party is dying of a debilitating disease, that would be great.
Am I dying?
Oh,
Is
it's
this how you
not.
tell me?
It's okay, Hunk. You're not dying. I don't think you are.
I don't know. You seem pretty sure that I am dying.
Hunk, you're not dying.
I mean, if
You're not
anybody's dying,
alive.
it's R5.
Yeah, but not the debilitating disease part, more of just getting beaten and blown to shit.
How do you know?
Dying
Again.
of massive oil loss.
Again,
Yeah,
you are
let's go.
comprised of a complex network of electrical circuits. If you do die, we can just bring you back later.
Well,
As long
thank
as
the
we,
maker for that.
preserve the central memory core.
Please do. You know, just in case.
H4 would like to medicine check himself.
Just doing like self-diagnostics.
Well.
See how you're doing. Yeah, sure. Let's call it medicine.
I promise this is the last of this bit. Nope, it's not.
You're positive that multiple panels
You
are
can-
about
you
to
can
fall off
easily-
of your body. You're like, you think that everything's going to just collapse out of nowhere.
You can just decide to make it the last of this bit.
Nope, I rolled a natural one. The dice decided that this bit has to continue.
Hypochondriac droid. What a world we live in.
All right, so you continue along this very long tunnel. Another half hour or so passes, and you're able to get to another one of these large sector doors. This one is illuminated, clearly powered on, and you can just approach it and you open it and you see that you're clearly back in that kind of main cloning room where you previously encountered Lynn. She is down at the, as a reminder, this one's a very large dome, like high ceiling domed room with multiple columns of various incubation tubes kind of extending from the floor up to the ceiling with a lowered kind of sunken section in the middle. You do see Lynn actually down in front of one of the control panels on the bottom level. Looks like she's occasionally kind of pushing buttons, checking some monitors and stuff like that. But she doesn't initially seem to react to the sound of you all entering.
Oi! He's gonna rush down towards the two of them. Well, towards her.
Yeah, as you get down, she slowly and very calmly looking, just kind of raises her head up from the screen that she was working with. Oh. Hello, Drod. Welcome back. And you see now, once you kind of get around one of the tubes that was obscuring it, a large tube filled with some kind of fluid and Huntale with a breathing mask inside of it, just completely motionless. She doesn't seem to be conscious in any way at this point.
Alright, so I got what you asked us to go get. How long would it take you to come up with some kind of cure or whatever for with that?
Oh, you were able to find all of my research notes. Here, pass them. I suppose you probably have them on some kind of storage system. Please, come with me. And she'll gesture back up towards that main control room.
So they flooded the sector where one of the terminals was. I don't know how long we got. Are we just sauntering along then?
Well, it was the sector where... Which sector was it in particular? Was it the one that has the various weapons design departments, or...
The other one, I think. No.
Well, regardless, so long as they didn't do anything within the actual tunnel that brought you here, then we should be fine. Each of these sectors is fairly secluded and separated from the others by various fail-safes.
Okay.
So long as they don't do anything to directly attack this one. Did you give them any indication that we were here?
I don't think so.
Last time I saw them, they were leaving.
Then I imagine that we don't have much to be concerned with at this point.
Aside from the domes coming down around us.
She looks up. She doesn't seem concerned.
Right, lead the way, Lynn.
Please. And she'll start walking off towards the lift, and you can ride up with her, and she'll gesture towards one of the consoles for you to offload that research data into. And then she'll go and start like kind of hitting a few buttons, kind of scrolling through things. It's going to take her a minute. She doesn't seem nearly as rushed as you would probably expect her to be. And eventually she comes out of it and just like, Unfortunately, it appears that what you're able to gather is incomplete. I should be able to synthesize something to at least significantly slow the progression based off of this, but to reconstruct the full amount of research I had done before would take quite some time. I imagine much longer than you would prefer to stay down here. But if you wish to stay here for months and possibly years, then you're welcome to.
I mean, I'll be itching to get back into space by then, but it sounds like this seems like it's something important.
Do any of you have experience with medical research? Any experience with cloning procedures and genetic materials?
I think Dread does.
Okay, you got me. I'm here. What do you need?
Well, if you're able to look at this and complete whatever knowledge I was missing and have lost, then that, I suppose, would speed things up quite a bit. Or perhaps you could just help consult with me as I continue my research, but I do imagine that maybe instead of months, it would be weeks.
You wrote it down, right?
I did.
Like you're the one who made all the notes and did all the research?
Yes. Do you have everything that you've ever written down in your life memorized? It was a fairly complex procedure with a lot of details to keep track of. I can retrace my steps and recreate the process, but I basically have to start over from where this bit of research left off and test and try new things again. Less time than it took the initial round, I assure you.
We've got somebody who can dove into people's subconsciousnesses. Do you think that might do anything? Do you think that might bring up any amount of research to be useful?
I suppose it is worth a try. I am not particularly experienced with... I'm more experienced with removing memories than I am with implanting or recovering lost ones. Implanting new ones as well, but recovering what was lost is often far harder. But if you think that it will not harm me, I'm willing to try.
Rennie, do you think you could do it in a way that wouldn't be quite so painful?
Well, that depends. If she tries to fight me at all, then that'll be very painful for her.
No, it won't hurt her at all if she just doesn't resist. She lets it happen. Cooperates in the process.
Is that how it could work, Dave? Because the probe mind thing only states that it damages them.
I'll allow it in a way where there still is a risk that something could go wrong, but it'll be lower damage if something goes wrong in the process. It'll be like a force ability check on your part to try to maintain just the right level of calm coaxing and guidance kind of through it. It would, Granny, you would know that it's basically like you would kind of have to sit there with her like cross-legged and like meditate for a while and like kind of connect yourself through the force and try to start it's a far slower process than your usual aggressive mind spikes that you do to dive into people's minds, but it's possible.
Yes, if she submits herself and allows me to enter her mind, I could try to carefully sift through her thoughts, but it will take some time.
May I ask, are we not on a timetable? It seems as if the Imperials have found something dangerous that they need, and that two friends are going after it.
Well, we know about the Isen Corona, but, we also have someone who may or may not be suffering from a debilitating disease, and that's just going to get worse if we're out in space and have to deal with that then.
It seems that Huntale will be fine here for a while. with Lynn, so we do not need to take her out into space. I know she is your friend, but she will be safe here.
Did you mention Isen Corona?
Do you know anything else that we don't?
I assume I know many things that you don't. What did they find there?
And a weapon. Some kind, I'm guessing. Based on what I've heard. Based on
describe
what I've
for
been
me
told.
the interaction you had with them in the weapons research area. I'm assuming, given all of that, that was the second of the unlock points that you went to.
You know what, here, and he's just going to upload the coordinates in text form to the terminal.
So they were pulling information from this same source as well, yes?
Yeah.
I presume the same one you got part of my research from?
Aye.
That is concerning.
You don't say.
Why would you say that this is concerning?
I've never known this new breed of Imperials to be... Never known them to show a lot of restraint in what they take. I would assume that they have taken some of my research with them. But the Isen Corona is a weapon development station where they are working on some very specific process that could be threatening, but also a secluded place where a certain senator likes to keep some of his more secret experiments hidden. It is possible that they just grabbed all of my research and brought it with them. Or at least whatever they could. If they didn't know what they were looking for on the system, they could have just tried to do a full data dump and take it with them and figure it out once they got back into orbit.
Either way, Harry, your mortal enemy, will be there. How long will he be there? Scars on his face? I do not know. Perhaps we should go.
He won't be around for long.
Yeah, if he goes to Isen Corona and then leaves, we will not know where to find him, but now we know where to find him.
How dangerous is this, Lynn?
Well, I wasn't exactly included on most of the weapons things, but often the more classified they are, the more dangerous it is. And also, if my research falls into their hands, I don't have faith that they will use it in a way that is good for the galaxy.
What if it wasn't just the Empire that got it? What if it was Subject 1? Or Subject 6?
Far more likely that Subject 6 would be the one. As far as I'm aware, Subject number 1 no longer exists.
Oh, so that did happen. Alright.
Harry's also going to take a peek at Lynn's work.
Okay, go ahead and yeah, you can give me it's just an intelligence check. If you've got a skill for it, then you can apply that, but
Yeah, no skill at all.
so just straight up intelligence as you're trying to look at this and piece together what the heck it means.
Natural 20, here I come.
Are you saying Harry Johnson's biochemistry engineering degree is not coming in handy right now?
It's a fake, okay? I wrote it myself.
That explains the crayon.
What was your total, Harry?
8.
Yeah, with an 8, you can tell that it's very focused on genetics and how various genes interact, how various things can... A lot of it started to focus more into, in some ways, almost treating organic genes in a robotics perspective of trying to program in specific things. The later stages of what you're looking at seem to be more focused on how it could go wrong. But beyond that, you're not really able to parse together much of what it means.
You know, Lynn, I think you almost had it here.
I had something, at least, yes.
If Subject 6 found what's in Isen Corona, what would he do with it?
What his directive encouraged him to do. Cleanse.
I mean, who's Subject 6? Do you... What is
I believe the last
Subject's
name
mean?
designation he was given was Vastifer Renz.
Hey, ain't that the guy we're chasing?
That cannot be. That is a piece of anatomy.
Some of my fellow researchers have a sense of humor.
But that's way too much of a coincidence for us to overlook.
The same man who dropped a Star Destroyer on me just to see me gone is looking in the Isen Corona. Alright, looks like we're going to have to hold off on the mind merge, whatever. Sure, there's a better phrase for it somewhere out there, but no, we gotta get moving.
In a different franchise, maybe.
If you have an hour, I do believe I can synthesize some amount of treatment for the disease. Should at least buy quite a bit of extra time for anyone affected.
I mean, we'll need some time for X2 to get the ship down and in a stable position anyway, I'd imagine.
Are we talking years, days, extra time? Or are we talking like minutes, hours?
For me to synthesize, I believe from what you have here, I could do something within the hour.
No, I mean how much time it's going to buy him.
At least hours. Possibly days. Hard to judge how exactly it will kick in.
I'll take any time I can get. Does it work on droids?
I did. H4, I understand why you're worried.
I am the only one dying here of any diseases, so I don't know why we need to stay and synthesize.
Look,
Harry, it's up to you. Do we wait an hour, or do we let Lynn do a business here and head off? You're the one who was worried about your sickness, whatever. You said you get the same thing.
I'm not worried about it. I just asked why it's happening faster to her and not to me.
Oh, that would be because the disease was born out of our program here. Certain aspects of their genetic components make them far more susceptible to the effects. I believe you actually might be the first one that we have seen it spread to outside of the clones and the other projects we have worked on.
Born out of the program. You're saying this was intentional?
Not intentional, within my hands at least. It's trying to purely design organisms that would be best equipped to follow whatever directive they were meant to serve.
Seems logical. Do not need to eat, do not need to sleep, more aggressive, strong. That seems like a perfect soldier to me.
Never did quite crack that lack of need for food, unfortunately. All beings need some kind of energy to supply them.
I mean,
but the rest, yes.
All right, Harry.
Here, just list off the symptoms for me. How about that? Let's go. Let's do this.
Well, usually early symptoms involve sharp, searing pain.
Got that.
A fever, sweating, a sense of nausea. Violent bowel movements usually come fairly quickly afterwards. Severe hemorrhoids. For me. The worst hemorrhoids that... My goodness, it was awful. Subject 3.
What if he has all of those already, though, before he got bit?
Then in that case, I would probably look out more for strange swelling of the muscles, a loss of sense of control, blurring of vision.
Okay, these are all symptoms before that, too. You gotta, narrow it down a little bit more.
Harry, we gotta get you to an eye.
The muscles will usually begin to stretch beyond the point of what the skin can properly handle. Usually it eventually evolves into some amount of tearing, a loss of whatever the natural color is within the flesh as it turns pale. That would be hard to tell on a being such as yourself, though. I do believe your lips look a bit lighter of a shade than when I met you not long ago.
Rat'll just poke one of the arms, try to sift through the fur.
There's the feeling of somebody who's just got a muscular hard body. This is more getting along the lines of poking something that's been overinflated.
Yeah, we're gonna take that out, Harry. I'm taking this choice out of your hands. We're going to wait, and we're going to get you a couple more hours of not being a bloodthirsty rage monster. Well, being a bloodthirsty rage monster, but not that kind of bloodthirsty rage monster. If you know what I mean. I mean, you're still going to be a bloodthirsty rage monster, but you're going to not be a mindless bloodthirsty rage monster.
Harry, give me a con save.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Kirby, would you mind telling me what you rolled on that con save there?
Yes. I rolled a natural 1 for a 6.
Yep. So as you've laid down and you even kind of start, whether if it was fake crying or real crying, Harry, that wound that you had, that initial burn feeling you felt just immediately erupts and spreads all the way like over your body. Everybody, you see Harry lying on the ground, just starting to like completely like clench up, kind of going into like twisting his arms and his body in these weird positions in response to the pain. And you just can't even move for a little while. Feels like an eternity as your vision just starts to kind of go red from how intense this burning is. But it does eventually subside. You get the sense that you had more time before this thing was going to take over you before. It's not doing so. It feels like you got less than you did. But it does, at least you're able to calm down. You're kind of able to... It's like if you've ever had that thing where you're carrying something really heavy for a while and you try to release your hand, but your fingers just don't go back. And they're just kind of like stuck, and you have to like actively push all your muscles back out to kind of stretch them out and loosen them up again. But you do settle.
So Harry just basically sits up like the Undertaker. What a rush. Wow.
Okay, nope. We are getting you help. We are getting you help.
That was...
No.
I'm sorry.
We should not be celebrating this.
That... have you ever felt this way? I don't think so.
I mean, I think he just did twice in that fight. He went down and came back up.
That's true. Maybe you have felt this. No. Do you even feel? Do you even feel?
What?
Exactly.
Okay.
Harry, how many fingers am I holding up?
He's gonna look really hard. Yes.
It's not a number.
He's not wrong.
Y-E-S. That's your answer.
That's 3. He's right. His eyes are fine.
Can we get him into another tube?
Why do I need to be in a tube? It's okay, guys. I'm fine. Really. It was sort of one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. But
I mean, I didn't ask this before. What did it look like from our perspective?
With Harry?
Yeah.
He described
looks
it in
like
detail.
It looks like he basically dropped down and had a seizure.
That's what I thought it was.
It's pretty much what it looked like. Sure. If seizures didn't already look painful for the person, it looked rough. It did not look good.
I do think you are probably very healthy, at least in comparison to myself. But maybe we should consider getting you medical help. Do you see that foam on the end of your mouth?
That's always foam? There.
No, this is a different foam. This foam has blood in it. The other foam is simply your...
Well, I mean, when I go to attack... When I go to attack somebody, there's always blood on me. So that foam probably has blood on it too.
I would say you peed your pants, except... Well, I mean... I think your pants are just pee now. They are soaking wet. Just look down. Just look down.
Is he wearing pants this whole time?
No, they're actually... They're not pants. They're actually jorts.
That does not match the character art I made for you, sir, but I approve.
Well, you need to fix that character art because that is canon, baby. He was
dozens of us. Dozens.
I'm just gonna take Tobias and put him on the bottom half of Larry Johnson.
It's a far less disturbing version of what what people conceptualize a shaved Wookiee would look like. It's just from the waist down. It's just Tobias.
Just Tobias.
Oh. Harry, you know I would never do something against you. You are my best friend. And my last friend. Actually, my first friend, too. No, I suppose. Anyways, you should get help. Medical help, real help.
Okay.
Get in the back to tank is what we're saying. Get in the back to tank, please.
If you want to live long enough to kill Scarface, you should get help.
No, you can't give him a cool name like that, because that's gonna not make me want to kill him.
I will rename him right now. His name is Facey Scar.
Okay.
I mean, he had a scar on his face.
No, he's Facey Scar.
No, he's Facey Scar. Facey Scar needs to die.
That is way less cool when you flip the order.
Yeah.
Yeah, Draw just pops another drama queen.
X2, how much longer before you can get down here?
Could I have one of those?
You know what? Why not? I'll just hand him one.
He takes it and then he jumps into the back of the tank, if there's one available.
Literally every single one except for one of them is empty right now.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you're able to hop into one.
Before that, he's gonna measure out. Not that one. He's gonna go to the next one.
Yep.
Maybe no. Next one. Perfect. And he's gonna jump into the third one.
You'll see Lynn kind of like lean her head, like just her extra long Kaminoan neck just like bending around a corner, just looking at you. It's like, would you like me to set you up with a proper breathing system before you dive in there?
Nope, I got one, and then he just puts the rebreather in.
That's not going to actually work.
Don't tell him.
Fluid though.
He's still.
If you want to drown, I guess that's one way of treating the disease. Your choice. And she'll go back to her work.
Harry, please do not drown. There are many ways to drown in this place, and this is the worst one of them. It's the most ironic. Drowning in a healing tank.
Oh. Okay. Set me up, Doc.
Will do. And she comes around. She goes and pushes a couple buttons on the console controlling that particular tank, and you see a mask that's on the end of a hose lower itself down through the fluid, and you're able to hop in and just kind of strap that on. It starts to kind of actually take over your breathing and begins to actually kind of forcibly push the air in and pull it back out to keep you at a stable breathing pace. And the air tastes a little funny. You can feel that you're starting to kind of drift off, and you slowly lose consciousness as you get submerged into this, and you fall into kind of a stasis sleep for a little bit.
But this air tastes a little funny.
Well, that should at least keep the disease from progressing further while I continue the work. I do believe that I think I'll be able to produce something that will at least double the amount of time that anyone affected has left whenever they take one of the doses. Taking 2 is not recommended. It will almost certainly end in death. But 2 at a time. If you wait the allotted time in between, it should be fine. And it should more or less put the disease into a stasis while they're able to maintain their doses.
How many doses can you make in less than I don't know how long it would take to make how many doses?
I should be able to make 2 for each of them by the end of the hour. Should buy them at least a couple of days. I could do more with more time, but obviously that will take a while. if you have any kind of facilities on your ship, we can continue to produce, but...
Could we transport some of the facilities here onto our ship?
You can try.
Sink's the only one who can carry this sort of equipment is in that tank. But I believe that would take far more time to just move the equipment than to actually have more produced here. It would be a long... We are not close to the ship. We would have to get it all onto a submarine, and then from submarine onto ship, and then installed. Take a long time.
We will be back. Well, I mean, we're going to wait for the first 2 doses, but then after I think we will, I don't know. I mean, Huntale was going to do her own thing, so maybe she'll take you somewhere where you can have a proper lab and everything.
As you say all that, you all feel the sector that you're in begin to rumble.
Okay, that narrows our options down.
Kind of feels like a mild earthquake for a little bit. Those in the fluids actually stay fairly stationary relative to it. And Lynn kind of looks around. It's like, I don't think that I have as much time left here as I initially anticipated. Do you by chance have an extra seat on your vessel?
I suppose we do now.
Do we? Wasn't it like completely full?
You could squeeze another in very uncomfortably where it's kind of lap sitting almost. But if something were to happen, it would not go well.
How? I resent that, sir.
See, now you know how it feels.
I mean, you are both technically
taxis.
small.
That's what I resent.
Technically small in size, so I think you actually could squeeze into one of those.
All in favor of stacking the droids, raise your hand.
I don't have the...
Top. I call top. You can have my vote on top.
R5. Also, R5 doesn't really fit in a seat anyway, because he's an astromech droid, and that's a weird... Why would you put an astromech droid in a seat? But
Harry just raises his hand.
See, he raised his hand. He doesn't even know what's going on. He raised his hand.
Lynn looks down and it's like, oh, it seems that quake went and did something to the wiring, gave him a little bit of a shock and stimulated the muscles. Here, let me fix that. And she goes and punches a couple things and it's like, there we go. Involuntary response and everything.
All right, now make those doses and let's get out of here.
Do we know what that was? Was that natural or is it targeted? Do we have external sensors here?
Not in this sector, at least. Hard to say. Seems like there's been quite a bit of commotion since you and the others arrived. It was a very delicate balance maintaining what little structural integrity that the city had left.
I'm all in favor of less talk, more get the doses and get out of here, but
she'll nod and get back to it. It's like, I can continue to discuss at this point. It's more of a tell the machine to do something, wait, tell it to do something, wait. The process is fairly mechanical at this point. But yeah, it's been about 45 minutes at this point. She's just give you another 15 minutes and Lynn will kind of finish her work. If there's anything else you guys want to discuss before that's done, do so now. But otherwise, we'll just jump to the end of it.
Can we contact X2? Have you been in contact with him? See if maybe he knows... If he can see an Imperial ship or on scanners, see if something is attacking this city.
X2, Mayday, come in.
Jerk.
I don't know, even... I didn't even catch the gist of that. Just beep once for yes and 2 for no. Is there an Imperial ship in your sights?
They're launched into massive wave. They flew straight up into space and all calm here other than the storm.
All right, it seems like they've just kind of jumped into hyperspace and
towards the Corona, probably.
We're the only intelligent life down here.
I do not know. Those fish seem pretty intelligent. They spoke to Granny and Ilo.
But yeah, so Lynn's able to finish up, and she kind of pulls out it pulls out a small collection of these little hypo injectors that can be used. All right, probably best to at least give them the first dose as soon as we bring them out of stasis, just to continue and keep them stable.
Of course.
And she'll go over and start pushing buttons, and kind of everything starts to settle down, and you see all the power start to shut off. And then Huntale wakes up and is able to kind of climb her way out. All right, so do we? Did you find it then? Do we have the solution? Or at least, and she just feels Lynn just inject her with a hypo real quick. All right, I suppose that will do. Is everything fine?
Alright, Lynn, do you mind if I do the other one? He's got a bit of a reflex.
Lynn just very quickly shoves one of the...
Does it matter where you stick these, or,
Not particularly.
Alright, cool. Harry, come here.
And Harry, you begin to feel you kind of wake up out of the stasis, and you're a little bit groggy. Everything's a little fuzzy, but you can make out what's going on, and your senses come back pretty quickly.
Okay, Drod, I'm coming.
All right. Now, I'm gonna stick you with something. I need you to not punch me in the face.
I'll try.
Ready? We're gonna do this on the count of 3. 1, 2, and then he's gonna stick him in the thigh.
There was as you came out of stasis, your sense of awareness also came with an awareness of that kind of burning feeling from the disease as it was starting to make its way through. But you feel the injection, and the burning starts to subside, and it pretty much disappears from what you can feel. Feel pretty stable at this point.
Oh.
You now have about 60 hours left before it consumes you.
That's considerably longer than I thought.
It doubled the amount of time left. Yeah.
Oh. I feel like me again. And then he swings.
Oh shit!
I mean, what did you expect?
Duck here.
Yeah, you're mostly conscious, but your muscles are still catching up a little bit. And Drod, you see it coming from a mile away, and you're able to just kind of lean out of the way so he doesn't.
You wasted that, sir. He described your victory already.
For a 22.
Yeah, easily dodged.
He already described your success. Why would you waste a natural 20?
Because it's better this way. I feel better about it this way.
Because it's earned now.
Thank you for this gift, Paul, that you have given to me, a wasting of a natural 20.
Oh, yes, I shall second upon each like. Anyway,
and you just see Harry stretch and say, all right, or 2.
Please, unless if you had anything further that was needed here, then if you could lead me to your ship and we can get off of this sunken city.
Lead the way. I'll lead the way. Right.
Insight check. What was that? I'm kidding. I'm teasing. I'm the least consistent with any of my accents. I'm only teasing.
But yeah, so you're able to lead everybody off. It's just everything's going to be pretty calm throughout the entire tunnel leading back to the first sector you were in. A number of the chambers that were in here are still very much flooded, but fortunately you all have rebreathers, and Kaminoans are amphibious, so they can just breathe underwater without issue. And you don't encounter anything else on the way to your sub. And you do get there, and you see that Alo and Vexa have already climbed inside the submarine. Vexa's not conscious at this point, and Alo's just kind of like sitting next to her fairly quietly. Kind of seems very self-focused within himself. And if you guys want, you can all climb on in and start making your way R5 if you want to start piloting this thing out. You can start making your way up to the surface.
gonna miss this place.
This death trap.
I cannot think of a single reason why I'm going to miss this place.
I'm gonna miss this place. It was a great experience down here.
I mean, I was born here, if you want one. I didn't die here. That's another one.
I spent most of my life here.
Wait, you did?
You know, I feel that's more sad than anything.
Yeah.
You're born here or you were made here? Which one?
No, but he was created relatively recently, so most of his life has been spent here.
I would like to take a minute to go through a cycle of existential dread.
Everything's pretty terrifying for a little bit. You start hyperventilating slightly, but you're able to reel it in after a moment.
Hyperventilate with mechanical lungs.
It's a really awful.
Dear God!
It actually sounds pretty similar to what Vexa sounded like.
Oh, there we go.
Yeesh.
Oh, that was too much. I went too hard. Oh, boy. That was the last bit of coughing was dread. That was just me. Okay, I'm fine.
I thought it was dread. Great job.
Pretend to have problems breathing until he actually does.
I mean, I got
You're
it,
welcome.
so I do have problems breathing. But hey, you know, that's how I'm able to replicate the sound because I know how it feels. But yeah,
because I know.
So you're all able to pile on in. It's significantly more crowded than before, but everybody's able to just barely fit. R5, go ahead and give me a piloting check as you start pulling out.
So, anyways, yes, that's a total of 24.
Nice. Yeah, you're able to get out actually in a little bit faster of a time than before because you're not so much searching for the actual place, so you're able to
we know where
quickly
we're going.
just ascend up and out. Nothing attacks you on your way. So the journey up through, it still is a very quiet, secluded darkness feeling, still pretty oppressive, but you can see the water starts to lighten as you get towards the surface. Still takes you like 2 hours worth of time as you go. And you get up to the surface and your submarine just kind of breaches over the way, like off the top, and just kind of is like one of those like little bump and kind of like settles down. You don't see anything around at the moment, but you're on the surface now.
X2.
Hey, you're coming through loud and clear now. Send me your coordinates and I'll get you in just a jiffy.
Yep, sending.
Yep, you just transmit them off, and you see your YT 1300 freighter come swooping on around, and descends down and lowers a cable that is able to latch onto your submarine and lift you all up, and you're all able to climb on in.
Okay.
And, you are now back on the Mayday, hovering 50 feet above the water.
Yep. 50 feet away from any more potential water damage. Yes, let's punch it. Isen Corona?
In the midst of a giant storm, but calm enough that you're able to control. So there's still plenty of water hitting like the cockpit windows and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, let's get this ship out of this orbit and off to the Isen Corona, and he'll punch the coordinates into the navigational computer.
You guys are able to fly out without issue and get back into space. Drod, give me an astrogation check, please, as you punch in coordinates and whatnot.
19.
Nice. You're able to punch in the coordinates. Seems like it's going to take basically just a day worth of travel to be able to get to where you're going. You don't see any signs of the whatever the small craft was that the Imperials were going through the water in. You don't see any sign of the other large ship that was in orbit. When you arrived, it's all peaceful, and you're able to take the time to line yourselves up, just calmly punch in the coordinates, and...
R5. To hell.
Oh, and there's no way left to get out of hell. Keep going forward.
And with that, you go and the stars all begin to stretch out in front of you. Everything starts to turn blue and swirl around as you launch off into hyperspace. And there you have another thrilling session of Starships and Scoundrels. Remember to subscribe and tune back in next week to see what else may happen to the crew of the Mayday. If you don't want to wait quite that long, go ahead and check out the channel because we have tons of other videos about RPGs, board games, video games, movies, pretty much everything nerdy under the sun. Thanks as always for watching, and may the Force be with you.
The droids. You created all of them, yes?
I usually refer to them as strandcasts, but yes, you could call them the droids, if you will.
Did you know of any weaknesses that they have? Perhaps code words programmed in, or an ill-placed exhaust port?
Only as far as any humanish organic has an ill-placed exhaust port. It's the butthole, little droid. It's the butthole.
Oh, no, I have extensive files on the butthole.